Greetings, I'm Bairnt, and welcome to the One-Stop Co-op Shop. Today we're continuing our playthrough of Kingdom Death Monster. We just took down a level 2 butcher and it was awesome. What a fun fight. I did go ahead and give everybody their hunt XP, where everybody's going to get 1 hunt XP. Now sadly that doesn't reach any milestones, but maybe we can take care of that during our settlement phase. Also, I went ahead and gave all of us our endeavors. We got 1, 2, 3 for our returning survivors, and then sadly we get 2 for Kashanth. Oh, so sorry Kashanth, you got kicked to pieces. And then of course we get 1 for our cooking. So we have all our endeavors here ready to go. We also get to take advantage of the Butcher's Cleaver. This is what we picked up from killing the Butcher. It's a 2 speed, 5+, and has +5 strength. And it's paired, but you must be insane to activate it. And when I die, I have to remove this card. We also got 1 broken lantern, so I put that there as well. And I think we're all set to go. If you're excited to see what happens to our settlement and also the hunt, then I need you to meet me at the co-op shop. So as always, we're just going to go ahead and go right down our list here. We've got our returning survivors. We're going to gain endeavors. Like I said, we already did all this. We're going to update our timeline and draw a settlement event and see what happens. So moving into number 17 on our timeline here, we only have to draw a settlement event. We don't have anything else. No hooded knights, no murders, no nothing. Everything's fine. Let's just see what happens with our event. We're going to go ahead and draw our event from our stack here. And we've seen quite a bit of these, so I wonder if there's anything that we're going to see that we haven't seen already. We're going to try this one right here, and I'm going to take this one. We're going to see what we get. We have found cracks in the ground. Oh no, this one's terrible. A low rumbling fills the settlement. Small cracks in the earth widen into fissure. Both that belch up hot, foul-smelling vapor. A massive crack splits in the ground. Okay, so we have to go ahead and roll a d10. Oh no, it's going to be horrible. All right, let's see what happens to our survivors. I'm going to roll it up and see what we get. We got a 5. All right, a 5 says, the returning survivor with the lowest movement falls into a crack. Roll off in case of a tie. They are dead. Oh, terrible. And of course, we have some lingering effects. The cracks prevent all home endeavors, and the vapor improves the breathing. +1 results in nightmare training. Oh, this might be a good time to pick up nightmare training that people have been telling me to get, but I keep on forgetting to get it. Also, with our shrine or our scarification, we can do some extra stuff here. Vapor visions. Spend 3 organs and roll a d10. You either get memory loss or you gain the following ability, Mad Oracle. Once per showdown, as a monster draws an AI, name a card out loud. If the AI card is drawn is the card you named, you gain +1 evasion token. Oh, that's not bad, especially when you get them down to like 1 card. Vapor Scars. You fall into a hole, you're dead. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Spend 3 resources. Scorching Vapor Kiss. Gain the following ability, Burnt Nerves. You're immune to bash. Oh, that's not too bad. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this on top of our event cards here, and we have to go ahead and roll. We already rolled. We have to read the returning survivor. The lowest movement falls into a crack. So let's go ahead and figure that out. I have a feeling it's going to be, the only person it's not going to be is Sarah. She gets 6 movement because of her extra gear that she has. So it's either going to be Tasselhoff or Huma. Let's go ahead and roll off and see who it is. I'm going to have Tasselhoff be the black die, and I'm going to have Huma be the white die. Let's see what happens. It's the lowest one or the highest one? It is the lowest one. He's going to go ahead and die. We're just going to go at the lowest. That means it was Tasselhoff. That's too bad. Sorry, Tasselhoff, you have fallen into the crack of death. Tasselhoff is going to provide us with one endeavor for his death, which is just awesome. He's going to go ahead and die. We're going to remove him. All right, that's too bad. We only actually had 2 returning survivors. That was amazing. All right, we're going to put them back up here. Oh, man. We're never going to get to... there's a milestone where if I can reach 15 population, we can gain our last principal. I don't know how that's ever going to happen. We always keep dying. All right, we're going to go into the rest of the turn here. We're going to go ahead and update our death count. Well, that's not going to be too tough. That's going to be 2. We lost 2 people. That's amazing. Now we're going to check milestones, and we're going to go ahead and develop. Now, developing is going to be really weird in this turn because we didn't gain any resources from actually killing the butcher except for the broken lantern. But I do have some stuff archived from our previous fights. We have 2 iron, a cyclops fly, beefsteak, phoenix finger, 2 monster hides, and 2 pelts. I could use this phoenix finger, a monster hide, and the beefsteak to go ahead and innovate. And I think I'm going to do that. I know this phoenix feather can be used for something really awesome, but I think innovating is always the most important thing you do in a settlement. That's kind of the way I'm playing, and that's the way we're going to continue going. So I'm going to go ahead and use the phoenix finger, the monster hide, and the beefsteak to be able to innovate. So I'm going to go ahead and take our innovation deck. We're, of course, going to give it a good old truffle shuffle here, and I get to have 4 of these cards. I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is where I want to see nightmare training because it'd be really cool to have. We have found Memento Mori. I believe we've read through this one. Pictograph consequence. Maybe used once per settlement phase. Nominate a survivor that died in the last showdown. Roll a d10. Nothing happens. Gain the insanity of the dead survivor. Painful memories gain the courage and understanding of the dead survivor. Or profound memories. Gain the hunt experience of the dead survivor. Oh, that's not too bad. Here's that sculpture one we've seen. Here's scarification. And there's nightmare training. All right, we are actually going to take this time. People have been asking me to get a hold of that from the get-go, and I keep on not getting this one. We're actually definitely going to take this one this time because we also have that cracks in the ground going on right now, meaning I'm going to gain extra towards this. And we've got lots and lots of endeavors to be able to use, so we could go ahead and really boost somebody's nightmare training ability. Now, along with nightmare training, we're going to go ahead and see what we have in here that we might be able to do this settlement phase. The first one we're going to do is our face painting. I really like to have this right off the bat. Now, this is only going to affect people when they depart. It's not going to be gaining survival at this point. We're going to go ahead and roll a d10 and spend one of our endeavors. Now, I also have to spend an endeavor for going and making nightmare training. That's the other thing I have to do. So we're going to roll our die and see what we get. We got a 9. That's perfect. Our face painting has activated. Death paint ceremony. Departing survivors gain +2 survival and +1 insanity. I'm going to put this card right over here on top of the rest of the stuff for our departing stuff. That way I have it available and I know that I'm going to get it. Now we also have to go ahead and remove all the things we used here. We used the monster hide, we used that phoenix feather, and we used the beef steaks. We're going to have to go ahead and get rid of all that. And that's okay. I think they were used for a good cause. We got some nightmare training here, which I've been meaning to get for a while. And a lot of people have been asking for it because I think it's going to be really good. We're going to go ahead and I think we're going to use our nightmare training now. So let's go ahead and find a survivor that can take advantage of the nightmare training. Now the only 2 that can really take advantage of nightmare training are Klingon and also Riverwind. They're the only 2 because they're actually about the only 2 that actually have weapon proficiencies. He's got Twilight Sword, but he doesn't actually have any in the Twilight Sword. This was back when he had his guitar, so I've got to remove that. So we could spend some endeavors for Riverwind here to be able to learn his nightmare training. I think we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and spend 1. He's going to lose 3 survival, so he's going to go from 7 down to 4, which is just fine. And he's going to roll a d10 and see what happens to him. He got a 9. A 9 is, he's going to gain 1 weapon proficiency level. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. So he's going to go ahead and gain 1 in the Twilight Sword. Now he can do it again. I think he is. He's going to go ahead and go down to 1 survival here. And he's going to use another endeavor. We're going to roll our die and see what we get. We got, oh, a 1. This one says accident. Oh, no. What's this? It says, accident, spend 1 survival or die. All right, we're lucky we got 1 survival left. All right, that's enough nightmare training for him for the day. All right, we're done with him. He's not going to be doing anywhere nightmare training. But I do have her. She could go ahead and try to use some, but of course we're down to 1, 2, 3. And I think I also want to try to do some, the augury to see if we can get some more people in our group. So I think we're going to go ahead and start there too. I'm going to go ahead and augur with, I believe it's going to be Riverwind again. He's got the most understanding. He'll get a +1. Oh, I really like Cannon though to do it. Unless there's somebody else that might be better. I don't think there is. All these people have just 1 understanding. I need to get more understanding on these people. Oh, Silvaria has 2, but she's a pretty bad character to take. Yep, we're going to use her. She's going to be the one that does it. We're going to go ahead and roll our d10. And we got a Lantern 10, which means we have actually had our, intimacy event happen. And I've also failed. I totally forgot. We did this because we had this right here. It says the vapor improves breathing, +1 to nightmare result in training. So his endeavors, he actually got a 10, which means he gets +1 permanent accuracy and +1 permanent strength instead of a weapon proficiency. So we're going to give him an accuracy and we're going to give him 1 permanent strength. So he's up to 3 strength. He also would have rolled a 2, which means I have to spend 1 survival and roll again. So I'm going to do that instead. And he's going to roll and get a 6. Let's see what that is. It just says spend 1 survival and roll. Okay, he's out of survival. He can't do it anymore. All right, so that's the end of the nightmare training. That was my fault. I've totally forgot I got +1 because of our cracks in the ground. But we do get an intimacy event, which will be awesome. Let's go ahead and take care of that. And the way we're going to do this, I'm not even going to take out the book because we've seen it 100,000 times. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll 2 dice because, of course, we have our principle of protect the young, and we're going to see what we get. We got a 2 and a 4. A 4 is a new survivor is brought kicking and screaming into the world. The child's eyes are free of the ink that stained the founders' faces. The settlement gains +1 population. So we're going to gain 1 character for that. Now we can continue on. Again, we're going to augur again using 1 endeavor. And let's see what happens this time. We got a 6. A 6 is not going to be a I think that means I just gain a survival from that, but we have to find our augury table to see if that's what it is. Here it is. Yep, it says 4 through 7, gain +1 survival, so she's up to 7 survival. That's too bad. She didn't get anything for that. But then we're going to go ahead and do it again. We're going to go ahead one last time and augur and see how it goes. We got a 2, which is not going to be anything good. Lose 1 resource from the settlement. If you do, gain +1 understanding. So she's going to gain an understanding. That's awesome. I'll go ahead and take that. Now, of course, I have to lose something. I'm going to lose the Cyclops fly, and that's totally fine. I don't mind losing the Cyclops fly. On top of that, we are also going to go ahead and put down our broken lantern because that is going to be something we're going to archive here. And that is a, what is it? A scrap. So I'm just going to put an S next to it so I can remember that's a scrap. Monster hide is a hide. Oh, that's pretty obvious. Put a hide right there, and I'll put a hide right there next to the pelts. Those are all set to go. So we've done everything that we can for our development. We're done with that. We're going to move on to the next part, which means we're going to prepare our departing survivors and remove gear from the returning survivors. Then we're going to go ahead and record and archive resources. I've already done that. And then we're going to end our settlement phase. So there we go. Our settlement phase is relatively quick because there wasn't much we could really make or do. We did gain nightmare fighting, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put that with the rest of our innovations. And of course, cracks in the ground. We lost Hasselhoff. That's terrible. All right, we're going to go ahead and decide what we're going to hunt now. I think we're going to go ahead and take on a level 1 Phoenix. I really like the Phoenix fight. We're going to take it on. Now, of course, I probably should do a level 2 Antelope because you can get a lot of awesome resources from that, but I kind of want to get that Phoenix finger back. So we're going to go ahead and take on that Phoenix. Our first survivor that's going to go with us is going to be Goldmoon. This is the new Goldmoon that was found in the settlement. Remember, she was actually there all along. And after some discussions, I've decided that what way we're going to play this, I'm not exactly sure if it's right, is she's not going to gain any of the benefits from the survivor that is just born because technically she was there all along from what I'm understanding. Now, she's not going to gain any of the strength, the evasions, nothing like that, the understanding, none of that. She's not going to gain any of it. Now, one thing she is going to get is she's going to be able to play the monster grease correctly. In our last video, I did not do the monster grease correctly. I was only giving myself +1 evasion. I actually have 3 locked green ones, so I actually get +2 evasion with this character. So I'm going to go ahead and give her all of the things she needs. She's going to gain her all of these different armors, and I think that's going to be about it. She also is going to get 2 insanity from our leather mask, and she's going to gain 2 survival from our leather boots, bringing her to 9 survival, 2 insanity, and a full set of armor. And she has that 0 presence fighting art, which allows her to always attack the blind side, which is going to be really, really great because she'll just stand right in front and still be able to attack in the back. Riverwind has rejoined our expedition. He's going to be going out. Of course, he has to use the Twilight Sword, so we're going to have to bring that with us. He's going to gain that rawhide gear stuff. He's got the cat eye circlet. Now, I didn't give him a bow because he has the Twilight Sword, and he's also got the weapon proficiency for it, but he did not get to gain a weapon proficiency when we did the nightmare training, so I have to remove that. He is going to have the bone sickle and the bone pick so we can go on some special little events, and that's about it for him. He also has a whole ton of stuff over here. He's not going to be using his monster claw or his ambidextrous, but he might be able to use his extra sense. He gets an extra dodge. He has to have armor in his body. He does. And other than that, he gets a free weapon surge. Now, I don't think that's going to activate our Twilight Sword because it is slow and cumbersome. I have to use both a speed and a action in order to use it, so I don't believe I can actually surge that. And he is a Thundercaller, and of course he's blind, which means he has less accuracy than some of our other characters, but he's still doing okay. And Huma's coming again. He looks exactly like he did last time. He, of course, is going to be rocking his screaming gear, and he's got the same beast knuckles, and he's ready to roll. I'll go ahead and give him all his armor. He does have 9 survival and 5 insanity, and when he actually makes it there, he's going to gain 3 more. And last but not least, we're going to be bringing Kanan. She's going to go ahead and take on the White Lion gear. She's got her dagger weapon proficiency that hopefully she's going to start being able to gain some. She's rocking that Cat Fang knife, which is absolutely awesome. And all this gear is just so amazing. I'm really excited for this character. Let's go ahead and start our hunt. All I have to do is put out a couple of these hunt events for our Phoenix. We're going to put them down where they're supposed to go. One is going to go right here, and one is going to go right here. Now remember, the rest of these are all just going to be roll on the random hunt event table is how it's going to go. Now, of course, I also have my herb gathering and my mineral gathering cards as well. We're going to actually place them right here, mainly because the only big thing is that it happens after Overwhelming Darkness, and this thing is here. I don't think we're going to be going past Overwhelming Darkness, which isn't the end of the world. So, of course, we're going to draw our first one, which is going to be our herb gathering, and we're going to go ahead and take care of that. So we've seen this one many times. I'm not going to read it. We're just going to go ahead and do what it says. Now, of course, it means I can go ahead and grab a couple dice, or as many as I want, and roll. But, of course, if I get doubles, I get no points. So we're going to grab 2 for our first character, and we got a 10 and a 4, which is 14. That's awesome. I think we're going to grab 2 for our next character as well. We've got a 9, so 9 plus 14 is 23. We're going to continue on. We're already over to here. So I wonder, maybe I'll grab 3 dice for our next character. We have 23. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing roll. We have 23, 33, 42, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. We're at 50 already. All right, wow. I think I'm going to, well, why not go for broke? I'm just going to roll as much as I can here. We're already in this roll, and we got another good one. 53, 56, 57, 58, and 50. We're going to be ending up right here. Gain 2 fresh Acanthus Strange resources. If the settlement has cooking, gain 1 random vermin resource, and all survivors gain +3 survival. Now, that's not going to help us too much. There's a couple people that are now at max survival, but I'm going to go ahead and gain 2 fresh Acanthus and a vermin. We have 2 fresh Acanthus, and now we get a random vermin. We're going to go ahead and mix these up a little bit and hopefully not get an ant, because we seem to always like to get ants. What have we gotten? We got a sword beetle. It says, archive this and roll a d10. The beetle burrows into your brain. You die instantly. Tough and disgusting, no effect, or gain 1 permanent strength. All right, or we can use it in cooking. A lot of these are used for cooking. So we've gone ahead and already gained 3 resources. Now that we've completed that, we do have to take on a random hunt event. And sadly, I forgot to say who was going to be doing this. Since Riverwind has that thing, he's going to go ahead and do it. He's got the pickaxe, or sorry, the sickle. So he's going to be the one that does this, and he's now going to roll two d10s. The white is going to be our 10s die, and the black is going to be our 1s die. And let's see what we get. We got a 22. Let's go check it out. It looks like our survivors have fallen into some acid rain. It says the darkness above is suddenly alit with a storm of acid rain. It smells terrible, burns flesh, and forms hissing pools in the upturned mouths of the stone faces. All survivors suffer monster-level event damage to every hit location as they scramble to find shelter. Unbelievable. If the settlement has sculpture, the survivors silently watch the storm erode the stone faces, erasing their features. They wonder exactly who or what repairs the broken faces, if there is such a thing. The survivors share a dark laugh, each gaining monster level survival. Roll a d10. On a 6+, the storm moves homeward. Add the acid storm settlement event to the timeline next year. Oh no. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take 1 damage to everything. We're going to gain some survival, but we already have max survival on everybody. And since we don't have sculpture, I don't have to worry about that, but I do have to roll. And on a d6 or a 6+, the storm moves homeward. I'm going to attempt to roll right here on this book. Let's see how it goes. We did not make it there. We got a 6, so it is going to make its way to our settlement. So I'm going to add Acid Storm to our settlement events. 22 was pretty terrible. I don't want to roll that one again. We're going to move on up. This time I'm going to go ahead and have him take on the next one. Now this, of course, is going to be our mineral gathering one, so we're going to go ahead and take care of that first. Here's another event we've seen many times, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll the d10 and see how we do. We got a 7, which says you find 1 iron strange resource among the unyielding stone faces. As you free it, roll a d10. On a 6+, you hear a snap. Archive your pickaxe. Oh, okay, a 6+, you hear a snap. Okay, so that's lower than the 6. So we did not snap our pickaxe, and we gained an iron strange resource. So that takes care of our mineral gathering. That is done. We've gained an iron resource, which is awesome. Now we're going to have to go ahead and see what is here. This one could be bad. Let's see what it is. Fertile field. The survivors approach a withering field littered with the phoenix droppings, twisting up through the rocks. Some acanthus plants grow vigorously while others wither and disintegrate before their eyes. All survivors suffer 3 brain event damage and gain +1 understanding. If any survivor has a bone sickle, they gain 1 fresh acanthus strange resource. If any character has a scavenger, I gotta get a scavenger kit, they gain 1 mulligan dropping phoenix resource. And now I have to roll on the random hunt event. So we're gonna suffer 3 damage, gain understanding, and a fresh acanthus. And this is our insight event. We have 2 characters that were able to reach this milestone during the hunt event thanks to that last card. Our first one is going to be Klingon. She was able to gain 3 understanding, so she's going to go ahead and roll on the hunt phase part that says Epiphany. You dream. Before you, toiling silently, a strange creature with an imprint of a human face sculpts stone faces into the ground. You met its concave gaze and wake. Gain the following ability and roll on the table below. I gain Explore. When you roll an Investigate table, add 2 to your result. I'm also going to roll down here and see what we get. We got a 6. It says gain 3 survival and 3 insanity. Riverwind has hit the See the Truth milestone. Now, sadly, we have seen this by accident in a later video, and so we're just going to go ahead and roll our die on the table and see what happens to him. So we're going to roll it up and see. We've gotten a 3. So we're going to go ahead and read that one. So if we look here, we've got a 3, which is going to point us down towards here. It says, if the settlement has the Gray's principle, the survivors taste sweet instead. Over here is bitter. And so we're actually going to be coming down this path, and we're going to be reading sweet. So sweet says, when your second eyelids opened, the veil of darkness was lifted. You recall looking to the sky and viewing a horizon of titanic faces. Each face is different, with peers at a different part of your body. Death was upon you, and a strangely sweet flavor swirled around in your mouth. Gain the weak spot disorder and following ability. Sweet battle. Once per round, you may surge without spending survival. If you do, you must use the activation to activate a weapon. Now, the interesting thing about this is since we did this by accident one time, I'm pretty sure I forgot to remove all that from him. So he actually still has the weak spot body. This, I believe, was from when we saw when we did this event by accident one time. And I also had the sweet battle, free weapon surge. This, again, I believe was when I accidentally did it. I forgot to remove these. So I'm not going to add anything because I believe these 2 are from the original See the Truth. I just accidentally did the wrong thing one time, and I actually just forgot to erase them. And now, of course, our card states that we have to roll a random hunt event. So we're going to go ahead and roll. This is our 10s die and our 1s die. And let's see what happens. We got a 68. So we see familiar face. This sounds pretty good, but usually that doesn't mean that it's going to be good. It says, if no survivor has died yet this campaign, ignore this event and roll again on the hunt event table before moving on the hunt board. Well, that's not true. We've lost an absolute monstrous amount of people. So it now says each survivor rolls a d10. The lowest scoring survivor, or survivors in the case of a tie, become a straggler. While examining the stone faces underfoot, the straggler recognizes the face of a fallen friend. Bittersweet memories reduce them to tears, reduce their insanity to 0, and they gain +1 understanding. So each survivor is going to roll a d10. I'm going to start with Riverwind up at the top. He has got a 7. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, a 5. So this one is so far the worst one. We're going to go with her next. Goldmoon got a 3. And then let's see what our last survivor gets. Huma gets an 8. So Goldmoon is going to have her insanity reduced to 0. And actually that's pretty funny because her insanity was already 0. So we don't actually have to worry about it. She's actually taken a light wound in the brain because we have taken so much event damage that she would have to lose the actual light damage here. Now, of course, doing event damage will never make you roll on the actual injury table. So she's actually taken probably more than she's had in the past. But she's going to lose all her insanity, which she doesn't have, but she is going to gain 1 understanding, bringing her 2 understanding. With that event out of the way, we're going to go ahead and move up, and we're going to move to our next random event. Now, let's see who is gone already. I think these two have gone, so we're going to go ahead and have Gold Moon push on forward to the next event and see what she has found. She has found number 8. So let's go see what that says. And we have found the event Wailing Smoke, and it even has a wonderful picture for us, which doesn't look all that wonderful. A consistent moan follows the survivors. Eventually, they enter an area shrouded in thick fog, and the wailing reaches a fevered pitch. Every non-deaf survivor rolls a d10. All deaf survivors continue along heedlessly to the cacophony. And if they were all deaf, this will end the event. The lowest scoring survivor, or survivors in the case of a tie, become a straggler. Each straggler rolls a d10. If the survivor has noisy gear, the straggler adds +2 to their roll. If any survivor has noisy gear and the settlement has drums, they counter the wails with a tune from home. Do not roll on the table, and each survivor gains +2 insanity and +2 survival. We do not have drums. I'm not sure about our noisy gear. So nobody has any noisy gear. We're going to go ahead and start rolling. This is Riverwind. Riverwind got a 7. Next, we're going to roll for our next character with the knife. Got a 2. That's terrible. We're going to go on to see what happens to Gold Moon. Gold Moon got a 4. And we're going to see about Huma. Huma got an 8. So it is going to be our person with the knife, Kanan. So she's going to have to roll a d10. And I don't have anything that's going to help her. I don't have any noisy gear. I don't have drums. I don't have anything. So we're going to go ahead and roll and see what happens to her. She got a 6. A 6 says, the fog grows soupy and begins to wail. You plug your ears with your fingers, but it's hopeless. Suffer monster-level brain event damage. So she's going to go ahead and take 1 event damage, which brings her insanity down to 2. Now we've gone ahead and finished that event. There's only 1 left. We're going to go ahead and Huma's going to move forward and see what we have found. We have found Fateful Feather. The survivors pass a ruined settlement. At the center, an altar holds a lustrous feather. Its glow illuminates the ghostly image of a frozen worshippers. Each survivor rolls a d10. The lowest scoring survivor, roll off in case of a tie, becomes a straggler. Oh, everybody's a straggler this time. The straggler cannot resist grasping the feather. The straggler instantly forgets the sum of their life, sets the survivor's weapon proficiency and hunt XP to 0. The survivor may gain the benefits of age again. Remove all disorders and fighting arts. Gain 1 tail feather resource from the Phoenix group. And any survivor who has the Horus ring may spend 2 survival to save the straggler and ignore this event. I don't have the Horus ring. We're going to have to roll to see what happens to our survivors. So we're going to move everybody up. This one doesn't make me roll again on the hunt event table, so this is the last one. Let's see what happens. We're going to go ahead and start with Riverwind as usual. Riverwind has rolled a 2. So far, he is the faithful survivor. Let's see what happens to Kanan. Kanan has rolled a 9. She's not part of this. We're going to roll for Gold Moon. Gold Moon got a 9, and we're going to go ahead and roll for Huma. Huma got a 10. So, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So, Riverwind is about to have this happen to him, and he was probably the worst person this could, or maybe the best person this could have happened to. So Riverwind is going to lose. Let's see what it says here again. The straggler instantly forgets the sum of their life. The survivor's weapon proficiency and hunt XP go to 0. So he has no weapon proficiency, but all of this hunt XP gets removed. He has to start again from the beginning. I love the way the Phoenix is. The Phoenix has so many interesting mechanics that are just awesome. All right, let's see what else happens to him. And it says, you may gain the benefits of age again. Now I remove all disorders and fighting arts. So he loses everything. He loses this weak spot. He loses the Monster Claw, the Ambidextrous, the Extra Sense. Now, these are abilities. They are not weapon proficiencies, fighting arts, or disorders. So I believe I keep these. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But it doesn't say anything about losing abilities or impairments. So he's still blind. He's still the Thundercaller, and he still gets the ability of Sweet Battle. But he loses everything else, which is kind of interesting. He hasn't really used much of this stuff, so it's not the end of the world, and the body one really wasn't the end of the world either. He doesn't lose any courage, and he also doesn't lose any of his understanding. So he's going to keep all of that. But there we go. Riverwind's almost back to the beginning of what he was. So we continue on. So there you have it. We successfully hunted the level 1 Phoenix. We made it. We didn't hunt the level 2, just level 1. And look, all our guys made it. Yay! As opposed to the last time where we only had 1 guy left, which is absolutely amazing. So we're going to go ahead and take on the Phoenix in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying the playthrough. Our settlement and hunt video was a lot of fun. A lot of things happened. We're going to continue on into the showdown. Now, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. Again, thank you so much for watching, and if you're excited to see if we can take on this Phoenix, which I know we can, then I need you to meet me at the co-op shop.